This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And good afternoon. Our program today being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. Again, rebuilding the south side, South Greeley Highway Taco John's. So the South Siders out there, look for the Taco John's food truck to get your eats and treats from Taco John's of Cheyenne. Of course, here locally, all of the other Taco John's open. And again, grab a six-pack and a pound for your dining pleasure this evening. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, where AJ and the crew invites you to come on by and take a test drive of a 2019 Soul Sorento Forte. Do the Telluride. Hey, if you want to style and profile, why don't you get behind the wheel of the Stinger over at Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank times 2. Banking done the old-fashioned way, done the high-technology way, and done everything in between, including HELOC loans or remodel loans or even new car loans. Check out Platte Valley Bank today on Vanda High and again on the east side at the corner of College and Pershing. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, directly across from Powers Field and, of course, from Menards. 2 convenient drive-thrus serving up 3 squares Monday through Saturday and for limited time. We get to push it for you. Their Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and their Strawberry Passion Tea Lemonade. Absolutely delicious from Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Del Range. Medicare Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs with your doctor's prescription. Let Gene and his great staff take care of those said prescriptions. Fill them and explain the medications to you. Same location as always, right next door to Texas Roadhouse on Bluegrass Circle. They're open Monday through Saturday. Oh, by the way, they have a convenient drive-thru. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Truck and the Auto Glass and Detail Center, I should say, part of Lennox Enterprises for a quarter century, serving our needs here in Cheyenne and the surrounding area. Again, see Lennox Auto Body over on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Again, banking done the old-fashioned way. Customer service always first and foremost. Right now, on a 27-month CD, get a 3.1% annual percentage yield from First Tier Bank. And we also want to thank Joe Mondello and the gang over at Mondello's Pizzeria. Family-owned, family-operated, family recipes, Paisan cuisine at its best, not corporate Paisan. This is the real deal. As Joe invites you to come on by for his pizza, his stromboli, calzones, delicious sandwiches, always on fresh dough, fresh bread, and fresh ingredients, always topping off on the pizza, the strombolis. Again, you're going to love your dining experience at Mondello's Pizzeria. 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons, open 7 days a week. And we get things underway at Scoreboard Time, brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
It's a short one for me on my side, but for Cheyenne Post 6 in action last night, as we talked about, gave a little score update in Game 1. But for the final of that Game 1 of the doubleheader, out there in Laramie against the Laramie Rangers, it was 11-9 victory for Cheyenne Post 6. Same result, or at least similar result, in Game number 2, taking on that same Laramie Rangers team last night in Game number 2. 13-1 advantage for Cheyenne Post 6. So with the sweep yesterday for Cheyenne Post 6, they're 48-18 overall.
Major League Baseball, Rockies and the Giants in a matinee performance again at Coors Field. Well, the Rocks try to battle back, but the Giants take over the lead again. Top of the 6th inning. San Francisco leading 6-5, 1 out in the top of the 6th inning.
4-game sweep of the Rockies, possibly?
One can only hope. Yeah, I'll tell you what, then I think if there is a 4-game sweep, I'm going to say the Rockies are going to be sellers.
I hope so.
In the bottom of the 5th inning in the Coliseum right now, the Athletics leading the M's 3-2 as the Swinging A's looking for that sweep. Cardinals and the Pirates, their final from Busch this afternoon, 6-5. Other games going on, bottom of the 8th inning. Cubs leading the Reds 4-2. Brewers on top of the Bravos 5-2. They've moved to the ninth inning at Miller Park. And another final just in. Mets have defeated the Twins at Target Field 14-4. We move on to games that'll be getting underway when we get off the air. Rays at the Yankees again in the Bronx. Dodgers Phils at Citizens Bank Ballpark. Nats Orioles interleague play at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Tigers Indians Progressive Field. It will be the Blue Jays Red Sox at Fenway. Padres Marlins at Marlins Park in Miami. 6 o'clock game will have the Diamondbacks and the Rangers in an interleague contest at Globe Life Park in Arlington. 6:15 Royals White Sox at Kauffman Stadium. And the late night contest on the left coast, it will be the Halos Angels Stadium of Anaheim. Los Angeles Angels taking on the Houston Astros. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find the store already, grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Our Super Radio buys heard only right here featured Camarena Reposado or Silver Tequila 750 milliliter bottle, $15.49. Bud Light, Coors Light, or Miller Light, 24-pack, 16-ounce cans, $22.99. And Admiral Nelson Spiced or Cherry Spiced Rum, 1.75-liter bottle, $10.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 88 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 56. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 90. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 56.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk. Today we have for you, first off, Nick Proetti, along with yours truly, Larry Proetti, and the head coach of Post 6, skipper Ty Lain, rejoining us. Thanks to your brother coming in last week. Your uncle coming in and joining us. We do appreciate Jade coming in, and he was kind of a hoot because he wasn't really prepped to be behind the microphone, but we got some stuff out of him last week, but we do want to thank him. You're fresh off a couple of wins last night at Cowboy Field against the Laramie Rangers, and most recently victorious in the Caba tournament that we had here in Cheyenne.
Well, the interesting thing about last night's contest, again, Laramie Rangers in-state opponents, or at least potential state, at least Wyoming State opponents, but, looking back on it, it was more just kind of tune-up games almost, or at least nice little live action where, really didn't reflect now towards standings to the Wyoming State Tournament, as we have now realized, especially after winning the COPA tournament, where the adage was you get the automatic berth, whoever won, to the Connie Mack World Series, which Cheyenne Post 6 did.
No, you're moving
Well, yeah.
way ahead.
Yeah.
You interrupted me while I was getting into the base of the story here. So let's go back in time. Let's go back to the tournament that basically Post 6 hosted, and then we'll get into some of the particulars of you hosting that tournament, because hopefully you came away with something for your efforts and your group that kind of takes care of Post 6. But let's talk about the tournament. You saw more Connie Mack teams in this tournament as opposed to Legion teams, and you fared well. You have to be pretty excited about the way your team really rallied in this tournament.
Yeah, we were really just put everything together and played unbelievable for about a week, and it's hats off to these guys, considering the teams that we're going against and the competition that we're playing, for 18 kids out of Cheyenne to come out and play together as a unit, as a family, and find a way to win that tournament is just an unbelievable accomplishment for these guys. And for example, the team we played in the championship in Fuego, they have a facility that they have in Washington that has fields and dorms and host families, and they recruit coast to coast across the country. Their first baseman's from California, their center fielders from Minneapolis, their third baseman's from Seattle, and they put those guys up in the dorms for the summer, and they do that with the main goal of trying to reach a Connie Mack World Series. And, there's 10,000 Connie Mack teams trying to get to a World Series. And, for 18 kids all from the same town in Wyoming to be able to play that well and be able to beat competition like that on our own yard and qualify, be one of 12 teams in the country to qualify for the Connie Mack World Series. It's a great accomplishment for our guys.
Well, you got to love that, though, again, with the Fuego, a team that's almost vying to win at least games and championships, where, again, for the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers, again, it is all local products, local team, again, doing this and getting it done. Looking back at the COPA tournament, which, again, extended from Tuesday all the way to Sunday, Championship Sunday, where Post 6 was involved in every single day. The only loss came, at least to, I do believe, the Rocky Mountain Oysters. But in our assessment, at least looking back on that game, you already were set in stone of being the top dog out of Pool A going into tournament bracket play. Was that lone loss, or at least in our theory, was it more so a decision on your behalf to kind of sit down some of the main guys, some main starters, give them some rest before tournament play, and kind of give some of the bench players at least a little live action, so to speak, in that contest?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we wanted to try to keep our momentum going. We had come off of 5 wins in a row in the tournament and being at home, and you never want to try to break that momentum going into the bracket portion of the tournament. But with that being said, we made some decisions that we thought would be smart as far as making sure we were rested and ready to go the next day. We knew that Max Pedroza was going to try and catch a doubleheader the next day, so we got him out from behind the plate, and then just little things like that, trying to get our team healthy, rested, ready to go, but still give ourselves a competitive balance that we have an opportunity to win the game. And I thought Trenton Rodriguez that night threw a heck of a baseball game and gave us a great chance to win. And anytime you're playing the Rocky Mountain Oysters, it's going to be tough. So, I thought we played well, came back the next day. Cody Brooks kind of got us going. We didn't play great in that morning semifinal, but he threw a gem and drove in 2 runs for a 2-0 win, and that was all the momentum we needed back on our side right there, and came out and played really well in the championship game.
That was very key in this tournament. And again, usually in these types of situations, if you can get your starters to go deep into the game, that's going to bode well for you, because you didn't burn up a lot of arms. And looking through all the box scores, you basically had everything else. It just came to fruition. Everything was set up perfectly headed into that semifinal and final contest.
Yeah, definitely. We've talked a lot this year about pitching depth being one of our strengths, and we told our guys going into this game, you got 8 games you got to win if you want to win the tournament, and in order to do that, it's going to test your team in every way possible: depth, physical toughness, grit, being able to bounce back from adversity. And our guys handled all that, and our pitchers gave us a great opportunity every night to just put up a few runs and have a chance to win.
And not taking anything away from last night's double dip over at Cowboy Field, and where Nick might have led to that part of the question. You might have had an opportunity last night to, throw in a little extra twist with some of the guys that don't play as much, so you can give some of the regulars a much needed rest as you get ready for more tournament action.
Yeah, we did. We did that a little bit in game one over there, and gave guys some opportunities. And we're pretty thin right now. We got 2 outfielders that'll be out for the season, and so we got 3 guys that could play out there at the moment, and so those guys have been grinding and not much time off for them. But as many areas as we can, we're trying to keep our guys fresh, keep them active, but keep them healthy as well.
Kind of sounds like when we saw Reynolds throwing in the Giants' 19-2 win, where the Rockies didn't want to burn anymore.
They were down 17 at that point. You might as well give someone some reps, or at least toss out for the feds, or so to speak, with the MLB. But at least talking about going back to the Copa World Series, where, again, pure dominance other than the one lone loss, the Rocky Mountain Oysters, but again, in the long run did not matter at a point in time, but complete dominance through Tuesday all the way to Sunday, where, again, with the adage, you are now moving on to the Connie Mack World Series, or at least got the automatic berth into that tournament coming up, at least in a few weekends from now, down in Farmington, New Mexico. Talk about the decision to at least accept that invitation. Obviously, Cheyenne Post 6, an American Legion team. To get to that American Legion, obviously, you would have to win the state tournament here coming up, which would be the same weekend as that Connie Mack World Series. Then regionals, dealing with that, and then past regionals to get to the at least American Legion World Series. But was it just an easy decision of, hey, we don't have to go through that long trek to get the American Legion World Series. We already got the automatic berth. Let's just do this instead.
Yeah, it was a very difficult decision, really, because of our loyalty to American Legion Baseball and how long we've been involved in that, and trying to take 1 year away from it was tough for us to get to that point. But, like you said, there's a lot of different factors that come into it. One is you're guaranteed into a World Series. I mean, there will be only 20 teams, 8 Legion teams in an American Legion World Series and 12 Connie Mack teams in a Connie Mack World Series. And 20 teams get to experience that opportunity, and we have a bid to be one of those 20 right now at this point. So it's hard to pass that up. And you just start to see that tournament and how it played out, and it puts a little chip on your shoulder for the state of Wyoming. In this other side, the other semifinal game, ABA is playing in Fuego, and in Fuego's arms, the guys that they threw were really good, and the guy that started for ABA signed to Washington State. They bring in another guy that's going to UNM. And they get beat 7-2, and then we throw out Travis Onisto, and we bring in R.J. Prince to close it. And where are those guys going? And so, we held them to 2 runs, and we were winning the game. So, it's an opportunity for our players, one that I think that we can't pass up. It's going to change the profile of these kids. The second that they step foot on the field in the Connie Mack World Series, that completely changes the profile. And it reminds me a lot of Brandon Nimmo, when he was on his path to become a first-round draft pick, when he stepped foot at the Tournament of Stars in North Carolina, he was nobody. And he came out and faced that type of competition and proved that he's a first-round pick. And, that changed the life of Brandon Nimmo and changed his trajectory forever. And I think our kids have that same opportunity right here with the chance to step foot at the Connie Mack World Series, change their profile as players, and start to get some of the recognition that I think Wyoming deserves.
Well, in something we talked about yesterday, obviously with this being the big tournament that it is, all eyes are going to be in Farmington, New Mexico, where it is going to have college scouts and get the folks here in Cheyenne, the players of Post 6, that eyeball look of saying, hey, we got some serious talent here in the state of Wyoming, especially here in the Cap City. But at least getting a little bit past that and talking about how historic this is as well, too, for the city of Cheyenne, if not also to the state of Wyoming and for Post 6 in general, about 50-year history for the Connie Mack World Series. You're the first team to represent, I do believe, the state of Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, just kind of this Rocky Mountain area region. Talk about the emotions where Post 6 has had this story history with your Pops and other managers, a part of this baseball club, but you are the first one to at least do this for Cheyenne Post 6. Talk about the emotions of making that decision, also to knowing that you are now World Series bound.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a surreal, neat experience for us in our program. And, yeah, like you said, no one from Colorado's ever qualified. No one from New Mexico's ever qualified. Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Utah. And, there's Hall of Fame coaches. Mark Johnson comes to mind at Cherry Creek, and Brewer from ABA. Those guys have been doing this their entire lives with the goal of getting to a Connie Mack World Series. And for us, we'll be the first program to ever get to represent this area and baseball around here. And I think our kids are deserving of that. I mean, we've gone up and down the Front Range and played very well and proved that we are one of the top premier programs in the Rocky Mountain region and in the Front Range. And everyone I've talked to said, even those guys who've been doing it for a long time, you're a well-deserving host or well-deserving representative from our area, and hopefully we could play well up there and kind of show the country that there's good baseball here.
I'm glad you mentioned the path of Brandon Nimmo, and Nick went halfway with that. With college scouts, college coaches will be out there.
Yep.
But you're also going to see the Major League Scouting Bureau out there. I know a couple friends of mine that are in scouting. One out of Denver, one out of Arizona. Matter of fact, the friend of mine that I know in Arizona, when we were down for that spring training tournament we were at, he's a scout for the Giants. You're going to see those type of guys sitting in the stands and taking some notes. You got a lot of young guys on this team. I hope they don't go out there with dollar signs in their eyes. But,
right.
I mean, it's a neat deal. I mean, this is going to be a well-looked-at World Series.
Yeah, absolutely. We're working on paperwork to make ourselves eligible to get signed up for it. And they have a slot in the player profile to talk about whether or not you've been drafted and what round it was in. And so it just kind of makes you chuckle when you look at that. Like, not many guys from our area are getting drafted, but in this tournament there will be a lot of people that have been. And, I would expect, there could be up to 5 guys who were first-round picks, that are going to be first-round picks out of this tournament right here. And so it's a special, unique opportunity. We'll be playing talent-wise the best of the best, but the thing I sell to our guys and the belief that we have in each other is that these teams are a lot like the Infuego team we played, where ultra uber talented but haven't been together very long, kind of brought together late and just kind of scrapped together. And our guys will be 60 games into a season with that family atmosphere, and we'll see if we can compete with them.
Do you foresee that with this historic route, and again putting Cheyenne, so to speak, now on the national map with being a part of this tournament, but do you foresee for years on, whether it is for Post 6, we'll even include the Cheyenne Mustangs, with the Casper Crush, with any team here in the state of Wyoming, at least here in our borders, with what you have done this season and representing, and hopefully, again, it ends with a championship down there in Farmington, but has this helped elevate to the point where, whether it's college, Major League Baseball, also to having Brandon Nimmo in the MLB ranks as well, has this helped for the future, at least teams here in the state of Wyoming, to get on that national map, get some recognition, get some college eyes or MLB eyes now here to the state of Wyoming?
I really think it will. I truly believe that. I think we're going to have an opportunity to help put Wyoming on the map and this region a little bit on the map. And, with us taking that bid, we're also opening up an opportunity for 18 more kids to go to a regional tournament for American Legion Baseball, and they can go represent our state and help put us on the map in that way. So we'll double the amount of kids from our state that are playing in a national tournament type event. And, we're just excited for the opportunity. One of 12 teams with a chance at a national championship, and there's going to be a lot of people watching, but even just us showing up and stepping on the field with Wyoming on our back, that should change the minds of a lot of people.
We're talking with Ty Lain, skipper of Post 6. We also have Grant Redman, who will be joining us. He's been patiently listening to all that's going on. Okay, so we go from this decision to the other decision. As you mentioned, 18 other kids are going to be going up to the Northwest Regional. This is a state tournament that Cheyenne has dominated, 16 of 18, if I recall, state titles. A situation where we go back in time where this was important to you to win this state title because everybody kind of wrote you guys off. It was Casper and, of course, Gillette hosting it. So we make the decision not to go. It takes one quality team out of this tournament. So, we know Jackson's fairly decent this year. You've had your way with Laramie. Rock Springs usually will bring a team up there in addition to Gillette, Casper, Sheridan. So you look at the baseball that's going to be played up in Gillette without Cheyenne, how much does that take away from that tournament?
A lot of those guys have talked to me, and they're disappointed we're not going to be there, but they understand the magnitude of the situation that we're in here. And, it looks like the team that they're going to bring up to fill that 8th spot is going to be Cody. And Cody has won 8 out of 10 A state championships in the last 10 years. So that's a very quality program that now has an opportunity to jump up to the AA and try to, they're going to host the A regional. So if they don't win the state tournament at the AA level, they've still got a national tournament that they're going to go to. And they'll be a very quality competitive opponent in that AA state tournament, I believe. And, to me, the winner of this state tournament is going to be more than deserving of being called the state champion. There's quality players, and this state this year is as good as it's ever been. And I mean, the proof is in the pudding. We've played tight, contested, difficult baseball games. We've gone back and forth with a lot of teams in the state of Wyoming this summer, and we have a very quality team, a team that's good enough to qualify for a Connie Mack World Series. So there is great baseball in this state right now, and people are really working hard, coaches and players, to try to develop baseball, and whoever ends up winning is more than deserving of calling themselves the state champion, absolutely.
Nick and myself were talking about this yesterday on the program. When you are scheduling for the 2020 campaign, let's look ahead towards next season, even though we still have a lot of season left. Do you now take into consideration scheduling the Mustangs? Do you take into consideration some Connie Mack teams now that you had this taste of the Caba here in Cheyenne and now going down in New Mexico to play in this World Series? Will scheduling change a little bit next year?
I don't know. I think that'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. Most of that is mandated coming down from the commissioner of Legion Baseball in the state of Wyoming. So depends on, we're planning on being a Legion Baseball team. We love Legion Baseball. We believe in the values that Legion teaches and provides to young men. And, we want to be a part of that, absolutely. And so we'll be back into that next year and with our same normal routine. But, hopefully we'll see how it plays out, but this could open the eyes of some of the people in our state and maybe change some things of how Legion Baseball has operated over the last 15, 20 years.
So I like the sound of that, possibly of the clash of the capital city between the Mustangs and Post 6. I'm saying it writes it writes dollar signs out
Absolutely.
there, for, at least for Powers Field. But obviously for Post 6, before we get to the Connie Mack World Series, obviously we do have a tournament coming up this weekend down in Fort Collins, the Gay Pando tournament. You'll be seeing the likes of a Hawaii team down there, Grandview, Rocky Mountain Lobos, Billings Scarlets as well too. So at least again, that'll get at least underway coming up Thursday and Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Championship Sunday. So looking forward to that. But my final question, going back to the Connie Mack World Series, and again, we do appreciate you at least giving us the information regarding Post 6 today, Ty. But how often do we see this kind of cross-league, at least in these World Series? Do we see a lot of American Legion teams make it to Connie Mack? Do we see Connie Mack teams making it into the American Legion World Series? I mean, how rare is this, or is this something that is fairly often of these kind of cross-league teams making it into other, at least, World Series?
Well, as far as Connie Mack teams going to the Legion World Series, it just isn't possible for that to happen due to the fact that they recruit outside of the boundaries. So American Legion has certain boundaries that you have to stay within in order to be considered American Legion team. As far as I know, and I guess I don't know very much, but I have never heard of a Legion team that was able to qualify for the Connie Mack World Series. So we might be kind of groundbreaking in that regard. But, it's just exciting. I think that there's a lot of people that dual participate as far as teams throughout the country. Like I say, 10,000 teams trying to get to the Connie Mack World Series, but a lot of those are Legion teams as well and doing both. So it's just interesting. There's great baseball going on. We're excited to be a part of it for sure.
And my final thought for you, too. Again, you were taking care of everything here during this tournament that was taking place in Cheyenne at both Pioneer as well at Powers Field. So hopefully from CABA there's a little bit of a stipend that you will receive for the Legion's efforts. Again, the Legion family that all the volunteers that helped out. this is going to be a costly trip. Again, one that wasn't planned. Maybe Lewiston, Idaho probably was on the agenda more than this trip, a couple, 3 months ago. Is there any fundraising going on, or did you get enough that you made from taking care of the gates and what have you from the Cava tournament? Yeah, the Connie Mack World Series provides they pay for everything, so you're not having to worry about anything. They called me. They want to know when we're 20 miles out of town. They're going to police escort us into town and down to the stadium, and they called and asked what our team colors were. They got a float ready for us. We're going to go down Main Street in a parade on a float, and just a lot of little cool things like that. They put our kids into host families, so they'll be paired in twos and staying with host families and experiencing the town with the locals, and then they provide food for the kids and all of that type of stuff. So really, the only guys that have to worry about any of that are the coaches, and I think all of our guys are excited to figure out any way we can get down there and make it work. So we'll have our full staff, our full team, and we're going to enjoy a great week coming up here.
Now we can't get here. We suited off for Post 6.
I agree. And Ty, we want to thank you. And first off, again, congratulations on winning the tournament and also being the Wyoming representative at this World Series. These young men don't really fully realize what they're going to experience when they get a chance to get down there to New Mexico. All right, we want to thank Ty Lain for joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. When we come back, we get to introduce you to yet another player on the Post 6 squad. He is Grant Redman. We're back with him after these words on 1480 KRAE.
Hop into the KRAE Time Machine each Monday through Thursday for the golden age of radio, featuring famous radio classics such as Jack Armstrong and Suspense Theater, along with pioneers in the entertainment industry like Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello, along with many other performers who've captured our ears many, many years ago. Join us for the golden age of radio Monday through Thursday, 8 until 10 p.m. on 1480 KRAE, also 101.1 FM, and you can also stream all of our programming on 1480krae.com.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Good game, boys. You showed some real fight. Like when Wachowski put that hit on our own mascot. Solid work, son. Okay, Friday was for football, but Tuesday is for tacos. Taco Tuesday at Taco John's. It's a sacred holiday where we eat tacos repeatedly until I get full.
Save big every Taco Tuesday with crispy beef tacos for just 99 cents.
Get some rest, boys, because come Taco Tuesday, we olay the day.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-thru window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-thru window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint, and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is number one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne. 10 years ago, the Department of Defense selected High West Energy to provide electricity on F.E. Warren Air Force Base. For a decade, we have been proud to work hand in hand with the Air Force leadership to ensure we provide the base with the affordable, reliable power it needs to be an economic driver for the region and serve a vital national security interest for this country. High West Energy, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Well, welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today. We get a chance now to chat with Grant Redman, who is part of the Post 6 squad. And, of course, Grant, I asked him right away.
Part of the historic squad at this point.
As I asked Grant, his dad is Scott Redman, who I've known. I've played ball against your uncles, Steve and Rob. So, the Redman family, very well-known family here in Cheyenne. Again, they have put out some real good athletes throughout the time here in Cheyenne, and another great athlete here in Grant. So let's ask you real quick what positions you play on Post 6.
I play third and second.
Third and second base. Any preference, the hot box, or do you like second?
I like playing them both.
You like playing them both. That works for me.
Again, a utility player out there for Post 6, not too bad. At least it makes the job a little easier for Ty Lain.
And school, what are you doing now in school?
Yeah, I go to East. I'll be a senior next year.
So be a senior. And how many years now you've been with the Legion program?
I think this will be my fifth.
Fifth year. Okay, as Nick mentioned, you're part of the historic Post 6 team going to a World Series in Farmington, New Mexico. Has that sunk in yet that you guys are going to be playing in the big spotlight?
Not really, honestly. We all know what we did, but I don't think it really set in yet what we actually did yet.
Well, granted, you still have, at least for Post 6, a few contests, again, a tournament coming up this weekend, a few tune-up games before you get down to at least Farmington. So, obviously, I would assume focuses are still, trying to get business done coming up this weekend down in Fort Collins, correct?
Yeah. We're all just trying to win the next pitch and win the next game and not really focus on the World Series quite yet because we're not there yet.
So at least talk about going back, at least talk about Cheyenne East products, senior next year, playing baseball at least 5 years with Cheyenne Post 6. Any other athletics for the East Side Thunderbirds that you compete in right now?
I played tennis my freshman year through and basketball.
So at least with tennis and basketball, so you got a few athletics at least to kind of focus on. Obviously, you still have one more year of high school to get through, but senior year's kind of a breeze. But at this point in time, have you made a decision at anything you want to do post East High of whether continue the baseball career, look at a JUCO Division II? Have you made those plans yet so far?
I haven't really thought about it too much, but I would like to continue my baseball career after high school.
Real quick, too, let's talk about this team. And, again, you put this CABA tournament in your back pocket now, winning this tournament. And I've thrown this out at every guy that's come in, where Coach said, we're going to be a little younger this year. Everybody's going to be gunning for us. I really don't know right now. This is the words back in March. He did not know about this team. Tell us a little bit about your experience with this team, how you guys have all gelled together. It's almost like you guys have become a spring and summertime family.
Yeah, it's we've been together for about 3 or 4 months now, and our senior leadership has just been really good. They've all made us just come together as a family, and just being around these guys all summer, you get to know them really well and get to pretty much become a family with them.
Well, as a team goal, we've accomplished with Cheyenne Post 6 of making it to a World Series. It's not the American Legion, but hey, it's Connie Mack. It's just as prestigious. But for the team, goal has been set for the season. But for you heading into this year for Cheyenne Post 6, what goals or what did you want to achieve during this season for yourself?
During our spring training, we sit down and we set a bunch of goals for the year. And our goals weren't to win the Connie Mack World Series wasn't on the goal, but it was to win state and win a regional. But I mean, after we won the Cabo World Series, that all changed. We saw the opportunity that we got, and so now our goal is just to compete at the Connie Mack World Series and play for a national championship.
Grant, this is going to be a wood bat tournament. Do you prefer wood or metal?
I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just a little different between the two, but you just gotta get used to one of them.
Well, you can make a mistake on metal, but on a wood bat, you make a mistake, you probably splinter it, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this though: as you play with the wood bat, do you feel comfortable? Again, too, because some guys, even though a bat's a bat, they have a hard time making that adjustment from metal to wood. Are you finding that it's an easy adjustment swinging a wood bat?
At first it was a little difficult, but we've been playing in a few wood bat tournaments this year, so it's not like this is our only time we've been swinging with wood all year. But when you change from metal to wood, it's just a slight difference that you notice. But we've been swinging with wood for about 2.5 weeks now, so by this time we're used to it, and so we're swinging pretty good with wood.
And again, in the end, with wood or metal bat, again, the key thing, or at least common theme, is just making contact with that baseball and making a play out there in the offensive side.
We always ask them what their favorite team is.
And he's got to post it all over, so we already know. But
let's go ahead and go with that, Nick. I'm going to let you ask him.
As I'm wearing the giant orange as I've been for this 4-game series, but for you, Grant, again, as for folks who can see it on Periscope and YouTube side, but for the radio audio listeners, what MLB team do you like to watch?
I like watching the Rockies.
All right, so, they're on
You're watching them fall into the basement as of today.
Yeah. Either way, though, we won't beat you up, Grant. Again, obviously the Rockies are going through a little downswing, but, talk about third base, second base. You look with the Colorado Rockies, you got probably the best guy to look at down there on that corner with one Nolan Arenado. Is he a guy that you look up to get some skills, tips, and tricks possibly, or are there any other major leaguers right now, whether it is present or in past, that you kind of look to of, hey, I could take some tips from them to improve my game?
Yeah, I watch Nolan Arenado play, and it's just some of the plays that he makes are just insane. The reaction time that he has over there, and just the plays that he makes, and you just look at him and wow.
I'm thinking, especially as we were down watching the double dip the other night, seeing how fast the ball comes off grass. I would think here at Powers Field, when you're playing on that all-weather turf, especially at third base, that ball gets to you in a hurry, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it kind of depends on the field. Some teams have high grass, some teams have low grass. It all just depends on what field you're playing at, how fast the ball is going to come off the bat, and the kind of bounces you're going to get. But I do like playing on turf because you get a true bounce, and you kind of know where the ball is going to go before it can take that bad hop off you.
So, I guess, too, we haven't really asked the excitement level. We asked about it sinking in, but is this going to be a family trip down to Farmington? Is this one of the most exciting things you've ever done? I mean, going to Disneyland's a great thing, or Disney World, but this is like one of the most exciting things in your young life.
I mean, as of right now, it just kind of feels like another trip, another baseball trip. But I feel like when we get there and you see all the fans there and the packed stands, it's just kind of sink in that this is big. Like, this is big time. It's not one of those little tournaments we're playing in.
Do you or the rest of the team kind of at least, again, we still have to focus on this weekend, but it's still 2 weekends from now, this big World Series that you'll be a part of. As we talk about the history with being the first representative out of the Rocky Mountain region in this tournament, being Cheyenne Post 6, being your team right now, has there been a kind of feeling, or at least in your opinion, almost going into this tournament, a little bit of chip on your shoulder, so to speak, of, you might get disrespected out there of where's Wyoming, where's Cheyenne at this point in time from some of these big league, at least clubs going down there. But is that kind of the feeling right now heading into this tournament of, we got something to prove to the rest of the nation?
A little bit, but we know we're good. We know, we won the Cabo World Series, so we know that we can compete down there, and I feel like when we show up and start playing our brand of baseball, that they're going to realize that this little team out of Wyoming can play baseball.
Grant, we want to thank you so much for joining us, sir. We do appreciate it. Grant Redman, along with Lain, Post 6 baseball, headed to the Cabo World Series here in a couple of weeks, and then again a tournament coming this weekend in Fort Collins, Colorado. So again, we have one more time that the Sixers are going to be within shouting range in Fort Collins before they head further on I-25 South.
And again, just reminding folks down at that Gabe Pando tournament coming up in Fort Collins Thursdays when it starts, doubleheader action for Cheyenne Post 6, taking on Maui, Hawaii team up first, and then also, too, they'll see Grandview coming up, also to see the likes of Rocky Mountain Lobos, Billings Scarlets they've seen before, so a few quality opponents as well, too, coming up in that tournament, so nice little, at least, added bonus if they can win that tourney coming up in Fort Collins this weekend.
Get you battle tested before
Absolutely.
Farmington. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll be back with more after these words here on 1480 KRAE. Family owned and operated Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company invites you to stop by for these great summertime specials featuring all greenhouse flowers and herbs. Buy one and get two free. Save 50% off on B&B aspen trees, 25% off on container deciduous trees, and 15% off all container evergreen trees and shrubs. Also get 20% off on all Austrian, pinyon, and spruce trees, plus B&B ash, elm, hawkberry, oak, and pear trees. Looking for a gift? Check out their gift center and receive 15% off on one gift item. Serving Cheyenne in the area since 1977. It's always a one-stop shop for your yard and garden. From family-owned and operated, Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company on Yellowstone Road in North Cheyenne. Open 7 days a week, all season long.
Introducing Digital Wallet, a new way to pay with Platte Valley Bank. Add your Platte Valley Bank debit card to Google Pay, Samsung Pay, or Apple Pay, and have the ability to make purchases with just your phone. It's secure, simple, and accepted by millions of merchants worldwide. Try it today or check out pvbank.com for more information.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Our Super Radio buys heard only right here featured Camarena Reposado or Silver Tequila 750 milliliter bottle, $15.49. Bud Light, Coors Light, or Miller Light, 24-pack 16-ounce cans, $22.99. And Admiral Nelson Spiced or Cherry Spiced Rum, 1.75-liter bottle, $10.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY FM and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Don Morris at 307-637-0301.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 88 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 56. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 90. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 56.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We're back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. We give you an update on the Rocks and the Giants. They have moved now to the bottom of the 7th inning. 2 outs for the Rockies, nobody on in the bottom of the 7th. Check it now. It is complete. We move to the top of the 8th, and the Giants are holding on to an 8-5 lead.
A 4-game possible sweep here by the Giants on the
Rocks
road.
are happy the Giants are leaving town. And again, too, you don't have Crawford playing today. You don't have Posey playing today because last night's game.
Well, guess what? It's travel, or at least it's going to be travel night for the Giants because they are heading out to New York to see the Mets coming up. So, for the Giants.
The Rockies got the Yankees.
Well, good for them. For the Giants, so let's talk about a team that is actually winning right now and doing well compared to the Rockies. But, for the Giants, what better way to get healthy where they are healthy in general? Again, only missing one Johnny Cueto, where even we have reports coming out that he's looking a lot thinner, a lot better right now for his upcoming return to the Giants to be a part of that starting rotation. We'll see who gets kind of bumped out, whether it is a Sean Anderson, maybe a Derek Rodriguez, whoever might get bumped up. Maybe also too looking at who pitched last night of. Drew Pomerantz, get him out of the starting rotation.
Yeah.
But for the Giants, so again, how about this? What way to at least gain some momentum of getting on the road as well, too? Taking at least 3 so far out of the 4 against the Colorado Rockies. You're going to take on a Mets team that is not all that,
They've won their last 4. They're on a 4-game winning streak.
They're on a 4-game winning streak, but again, they're below at least the Giants in the standing, so a beatable team right now for San Francisco. But, talk about a team that is continuing to be red hot. You look at last night where it looked like they're in the bottom of the 9th. The Rockies had a chance. Granted, they tied it. They got back into it. But in the 10th, how about the Giants, where offense, which has just been non-existent for the majority of the season.
And Wade Davis was horrible again for the Rocks.
Yeah, again, at this point in time for the Rockies' bullpen,
well,
that is just a common theme, so I don't know what you're trying to bring up there. But
no, I'm just saying.
With last night's win, before you move on, Giants-Rockies now tied 46 and 49 overall, still below 500, but they are tied in the wild card spot, or at least, again, we're not going to look at least West Division standings since LA has pretty much wrapped that up, but in the wild card, they are both tied even, 3 games back behind Milwaukee and Philadelphia for that second wild card spot. They'd be 5 games behind the Washington Nationals, who are 2 up in that wild card number 1 spot. So right now, talk about a big momentum shift where right now for Colorado, they're only a half game ahead of being dead last right now in the NL West, and their only fortune is with the San Diego Padres that are like a fluctuating team as well.
And let's just say this for argument's sake. The Giants hold on to win this game. They're in 3rd place. They have made the move from dead last, where they were basically put a fork in them. They're done.
They were
a couple
selling
weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now they're in the middle of the pack, and right above them is the Diamondbacks. And the Diamondbacks, no guarantee that they're going to win.
Well, they're getting things done against the Texas Rangers, a good outfit right now in the AL West.
They're only 2 games behind, so they will start, if the Giants win, the Diamondbacks will be a game and a half ahead of the Giants for 2nd place. And the Giants have moved from 5th to 3rd. If they can hold on to beat the Rocks.
And here's looking at the upcoming schedule for the Arizona Diamondbacks. They got a lot of home games coming up where they will be seeing, once they wrap up on the road with the Texas Rangers, they will be at home hosting the Milwaukee Brewers. So we'll see what happens in that series. Milwaukee, that is trying to figure out their identity, having a little tough go of it. They will see them for 4 times. And then how about this, at home hosting 3 games in a row, the Baltimore Orioles. So there's guaranteed wins right there for Arizona.
And looking at the Diamondbacks, they've already played 53 games on the road.
Yeah.
They've only been at Chase for 42 games. So, again, this is going to be a lengthy homestand for them. And again, one that's going to get them very healthy. But with the Rockies, they go to New York. So do the Giants go to New York.
I was going to say, the Rockies take on
the Bronx.
Rockies take on the better New York team, where the Giants have to face against the New York Mets. Giants will be at home hosting the Mets, so a nice little home cookie for the Giants. That will be a 4-game series as well. So back-to-back 4-game series for the Giants, at least this time around, will be at home for the Giants. They got a long stand, at least a home stand as well. After the Mets series, 4 games, they will play host to the Chicago Cubs. So that'll be interesting. Again, if the Giants are still hot, they could take care of a Cubs team, I would assume. And then looking even farther, they'll be back on the road, 3 against the San Diego Padres. So Giants right now in the month of July, they got a chance to do some damage and make at least a good case that they could be postseason bound. This is a nice chance for them to rebound and, as we're seeing, climb out of the cellar as they've done.
And being buyers now as opposed to being sellers. So with this loss, if the Rockies do continue to fall behind the scoreboard, do they make some roster moves? I don't know. I mean, are they going to do some selling? I have no idea. All I can tell you right now is that the Rockies are, like the Giants, 3 games under 500, in jeopardy of being 46 and 50 and being swept by San Francisco. That's going to make some rumblings in that front office. I guarantee you that Dick Mumford, Jeff Bridich are going to be sitting down with Bud Black, and they're going to be doing some discussions here. If they are planning to make any type of run at postseason,
I mean,
they're going to have to make some moves.
And what a way, or at least for Colorado, where this is almost, a knife in the side for the Rockies, and again, for the players, for the team, for the front office, whoever it may be, again, allowing Giants from where they were dead last, and they were pretty comfortable being dead last in the NL West and being one of the worst kind of teams in National League, but, here they are getting healthy against your team. They're improving their road record as well, where it was 500 going into the series. Now it's 3 games above at 26-23, but for the Colorado Rockies, how about you had a dominant home record, or at least both of them were kind of at least near even, 26-23 for the Rockies at home. This is, in my opinion, as much as I am a Giants fan, for the Rockies, we're talking about a 4-game sweep, which is also too a rarity in this day and age of baseball, let alone the doubleheader sweep in one day. Right now for the Rockies, you got loads of issues, and this is something that should not have happened at Coors Field against a team that does not hit well.
And again, too, we're also missing the point with the Rocky starters, the young guns. Aside from
your young guns in Colorado that you gave so much praise are nothing that special.
But, Chichi Gonzalez was the only one that has actually pitched okay in this series for Colorado.
Well, guess what? He allowed back-to-back homers.
I know, but that's all he did. Just two mistakes he made. But you're looking here, Gray today.
He did that again. He did that to a Giants team that is not known for home run hitting.
I understand that, but Gray went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 6 runs, 11 hits. Again, in 95 pitches. So, and then you have Estevez that came in relief out of the pen. He gave up 2 runs in an inning of work. So, again, the bullpen letting the Rockies down again.
I think pitching in general is just terrible for the Rockies. Again, I'll go from starters to bullpen to whoever. In this series,
Gray has been their most consistent pitcher as of late. So, again,
it's not getting the job done.
No, the entire pitching staff right now for the Rocks in a slump. That's what I'm saying. You're going to have Monfort. You're going to have Breitich. You're going to have Bud Black. They're all going to be talking to each other here. And they're going to have to make some moves.
They have to, but will they? I highly doubt it.
Well, then I guess you won't be going to postseason, will you?
I said that a few months ago that this Rockies team was not bound for the postseason, and I think this reinforces that it's not. This team is so inconsistent. It goes through so many peaks and valleys. It's not going to get it done, especially here in this National League where, yes, they are still 3 games out of it, but I think they're way too inconsistent, way too much on the peaks and valleys that it's going to cost this team for getting postseason. Where you are battling the San Franciscos of the world now, Arizona, you're battling Milwaukee, you're battling St. Louis, you're battling Philadelphia, Washington. You're battling so many teams ahead of you that are getting their act together, winning series, and if for whatever the reason, Rockies, they get it done against Cincinnati, but find a way to falter here against the San Francisco Giants. You can't afford this inconsistency at this point in time.
Once again, in hour number 1, we want to thank Lain and also Grant Redman for joining us. Hour number 2, we'll set things up for you. We're going to talk first with Jim Gardner, who is the head coach of LCCC Women's Soccer. We'll also have Sheldon Baxter in. I do believe Orry Davis will be with him at 4:30 as we'll get a chance to talk Mustangs baseball.
You can read.
So we will have that coming up for you here as we do a little business right now at the top of the hour.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today being brought to you by Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D, the Greenway Commons, Paisan Cuisine at its best for you and me 7 days a week. All home-style recipes. Again, not corporate and charts there to tell you how to make things. Hey, Joe Mondello's homestyle recipes always in play at Mondello's Pizzeria. We also want to thank First Tier Bank directly across the street at 528 Stillwater Avenue. Again, great APYs on their 27-month CD. How about a 3.1 annual percentage rate being offered right now by First Tier Bank? Lennox Auto Body over on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard, part of Lennox Enterprises. Founded by Dick Lennox a quarter century ago, and the tradition carried on by his daughter Heather, and it hasn't missed a beat in all that time. Medicap Pharmacy, for all your pharmaceutical needs. Again, see Gene and the wonderful staff over on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse, open Monday through Saturday. Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range, right across from Powers Field and Menards. And again, Ray and Cynthia invite you to come on by. New to the menu for limited time, their Strawberry Passion Tea Lemonade, along with their Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich. That goes with all the other goodies that they got for you. Whether you do a milkshake, whether you do their good old-fashioned chicken sandwich and waffle fries, they even have breakfast for you. Monday through Saturday over at Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range. Platte Valley Bank ×2, the original location on Vanda High, and the east side location you can catch right there at the corner of College and Pershing. We want to thank Kia of Cheyenne over on Nationwide Test Drive, a 2019 Kia, and you're going to find some super sensational deals going on right now, too. It is summertime. That means it's time to move out the 19th because the 20s are on their way at Kia of Cheyenne on Nationwide. And we also want to thank Taco John's of Cheyenne. Great night to pick up 6-pack and a pound so you don't have to cook. Also, for our friends over on the south side, you look for the Taco John's food truck, and you can enjoy delicious Taco John eats as well as they rebuild that South Greeley location. Taco John's of Cheyenne. We get things underway. Our scoreboard is being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go to Nick. What's going on?
Well, mine is a quick one from last night for Cheyenne Post 6 in Laramie, Wyoming, taking on the Laramie Rangers. 2 games, a doubleheader. Game number 1 for Post 6, it was 11-9 victory. Game number 2, it was a 13-1 victory for Cheyenne Post 6. So a nice little sweep against the Laramie Rangers as they get set for the tournament coming up in Fort Collins, Colorado, starting this Thursday. As again we mentioned, they'll see a Hawaii team and also to Grandview. But with the 2 wins last night for Cheyenne Post 6 on the season, they are 48-18 overall.
We go to Major League Baseball, where the Rockies now are getting beaten by the Giants, as the Giants have put up a 3 spot in the top of the 8th inning. They've extended their lead to 11-5 and looking for this 4-game sweep. Other games that are in progress, the Athletics in the Coliseum. They're looking for the sweep of the Mariners with a 7-2 lead right now in the top of the 8th inning. The Mets have defeated the Twins in interleague play 14-4. That was at Target Field. Cardinals have defeated the Bucks at Busch 6-5. Brewers 5-4 winners at home against the Braves, that is. And the Cubs win 5-2 in Chicago against Cincinnati. Games getting underway in the 5 o'clock hour. Rays at the Yankees, Dodgers at the Phils, Nats, Orioles at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Motor City Kitties of Detroit taking on the Indians at Progressive Field. Blue Jays, Bo Sox at Fenway. Padres, Marlins at Marlins Park. 6 o'clock hour will be the Diamondbacks and the Rangers at Globe Life Park in Arlington. White Sox and the Royals at Kauffman Stadium. In the late night game, Mountain Time, about 8 o'clock, it will be the Halos, the Angels at Angel Stadium in Anaheim. They will entertain the Houston Astros. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find the store already, grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
We're working hard for your business. I'm AJ Miller at Kia of Cheyenne, and right now you could save on the 2019 Kia Forte. The 2019 Kia Forte is priceless, yet still offers standard features not found on most of its competitors. With Kia Forte, you can charge your phone with available wireless charging, voice command navigation, and 8-inch touchscreen to help sync up your world. Come into Kia of Cheyenne or call 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today, only on 1480 KRAE, and you can stream live with us at 1480krae.com.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Our Super Radio buys heard only right here featured Camarena Reposado or Silver Tequila 750 milliliter bottle, $15.49. Bud Light, Coors Light, or Miller Lite, 24-pack 16-ounce cans, $22.99. And Admiral Nelson Spiced or Cherry Spiced Rum, 1.75-liter bottle, $10.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Family owned and operated, Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company offers many different types of rock, stones, boulders, and other decorative products that make a perfect addition to your yard or landscape. You'll find river rock, flagstone, lava rock, pavers, along with compost, mulch, and a lot more. So stop into Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company today to find out what will be best for improving your front or backyard. A family tradition since 1977, Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company, open 7 days a week, all season long on North Yellowstone Road in Cheyenne.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 88 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15. If it's tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 56. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 90. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 56.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today. Our first guest here in the 4 o'clock hour. Well, you know, with the program itself, that's newsmaking, but he's been a newsmaker in various forms. But the most important news that I wanted to break.
Well, I was going to say, how about as we introduce him, let's see, former Cheyenne East girls soccer head coach, current LCCC women's soccer head coach, but also, too, something that we want to talk about, and also, too, we've given our congratulations, but we'll do it on air as well. Now, Hall of Famer here in the state of Wyoming.
That's what I'm leading into. We're going to be talking to Jim Gardner, who is going to put his name amongst the many that are in the Wyoming Coaches Association Hall of Fame, and we do, as a matter of fact, the only Cheyenne recipient. So first off, Coach, before we talk LCCC soccer, let's talk about the excitement of being a Hall of Fame member. Another asterisk to the career.
Yeah, it's quite an honor and something that takes a career to build, and something that's special because of that. Sometimes you have a state tournament or a national championship that win your Coach of the Year, but you don't get in the Hall of Fame unless you've had some kind of career success over a period of time. And I think that's what's neat about all the people who are there. They've been very successful.
We were talking at the barbecue here last week, and you know, you're going in with a pretty good class, coaches that you know. And, again, this is one of those situations where, man, oh, man, you look down the resume of the other coaches as well, and it's like, you guys have been integral parts, to your community as well as the schools that you had that opportunity to work with.
Yeah, one of the recipients is Tom Siemens from Campbell County up in Gillette. He coached in Green River for a while, won 5 state titles there in wrestling, and then also in Gillette, I think he won 13 in a row. He and I went to college together, wrestled together, and started teaching together. So it's kind of neat to see two careers kind of parallel themselves in different sports.
Well, and regarding this, at least Wyoming Coaches Association Hall of Fame, at least nomination, and getting this for you, Coach, looking at least kind of a quick recap, 28 years, at least guiding the Cheyenne Thunderbirds, girls soccer out there, at least 9 state championships, finished runner-up 7 times, won 6 conference titles, 5 regional crowns, 56 first-team All-State players, 53 second-team All-State players, 7 Gatorade Players of the Year. So you were also named Coach of the Year 7 times, was the Wyoming All-Star Coach 3 times, and finished at least your tenure with Cheyenne's of an overall record of 290 wins, 110 losses, and 34 ties. You know, again, just phenomenal work out there, putting Cheyenne East girls soccer on the map, which now your assistant at LCCC is now the head coach, one Rebecca Valdez, continuing kind of your legacy and building up that Cheyenne East program once again. But with that all being said, 28 years, was there a moment, a year, a player, again, as hard as that may be for you, Coach, but were there moments, were there times, was there a state championship that just sticks out to you in your memory of those 28 years?
That's a tough one because you hate to leave anybody out or mention people that might be put above someone. But I think the first state title we won up in Gillette, the first one's always something to get over. We'd been second twice in a year, and then to win that one, we beat Central 1-0 in an overtime game. And a young lady named Jamie Gordy was on that team, and she started her career in one of the best at East. I think one of the last ones we won when the Ericksons were seniors, and they won in overtime and beat Central again. And we had a great year where we won 3 in a row, and that was the start of the 3. So they were actually sophomores at that time. Those two really stick out. And then I think the years that my daughter played, another girl named Raquel Macias and Desi were here in town. And, those girls have gone on to be coaches, and it was kind of neat to have your own kid there too. So I think maybe those 3. But all the years were great, and we've had so many kids, it'd be almost impossible to name them all, and the special ones that have come through.
Again, with championships, state championships, and going to the next level with LCCC and competing for national championships, what does just being inducted into a Hall of Fame mean to Jim Gardner personally?
It's an honor. It's humbling. The support I've had in the community is humbling as well. Tim Dennison's in there. There's several coaches from around the state that I grew up with, and people that could be in there that aren't, like Dan Layer, Costa Sandes, that haven't done the process. But it's an honor to be there. I've been a member of the Coaches Association since I was in my 20s, and you go up there and you see people doing what I'm doing, 30 years ago, and thinking, how did they ever do it? Or you go to a national meeting and you see guys in their 60s and 70s with 1,000 wins thinking, I don't think I can ever do it. And then all of a sudden you're in that position. So to see all the people that have gone before you and the people that are working their way up, stay a coach for a long time is difficult, and it feels good and an honor to be able to do that.
You said being a coach for a long time. Well, you got one season left as far as being a coach, and that's got mixed emotions too. You enjoy what you do, and you've seen the fruits of your labor pan out at the high school level. You've seen it now at the collegiate level, the JUCO level. You have made it known this is going to be your last season at LCCC. So as you approach this season, I guess it's not like you have one foot in the door and one foot, ready to go to the rocking chair. But tell us a little bit how you approach this season, knowing it's your last.
Well, I'm going to give it as much as I can, get there early, leave late like I always do. Maybe some more individual sessions and group sessions during the day, cut out time for that. I think my assistants are going to be involved a lot more. When you can see it at the end, you know that there's nothing you can do after you're done. There's not going to be another year. I always tell the players, it's never over till it's over. And at that point, then you got to go back. So when it is over this year, I don't want to leave any regrets or anything behind. So we're going to do everything we can to be at the top all year long and hopefully finish as close to the top as we can, if not there. I think I've got a great group coming in. I'm excited. There's support at the college. This alumni game coming up. We're going to have 60 or 70 kids coming back, which is phenomenal to know that you've got that many people that care about the program and want to be involved. And then that in turn brings the men's program back and the basketball and volleyball. So I think it can be a big step forward for LCCC and things to come in the future.
And we'll talk, at least give a little quick plug for that LCCC alumni game coming up Saturday the 10th, 11 a.m. at LCCC. Again, we will at least notify folks more as we get close to that, but that's when that at least LCCC alumni game will be happening August 10th, Saturday, coming up this season. Now as we preview 2019-2020 season for LCCC women's soccer, coming off again another successful year, making the national tournament, again still finding a little bit short of that national championship that just kind of eludes LCCC women's soccer. But, as we lost some talents, but obviously with JUCO ranks, it's pretty common with volleyball, basketball, whatever it may be. But just talk about some of the new faces that we'll be seeing a part of this women's soccer program.
Well, we've got 12 new athletes joining 11 new athletes joining, 9 coming back. And I think our future's bright. 8 of the kids coming back, I think, are probably starters or have that potential to be. And then we have some kids coming in from Canada and England and Australia, kids that I think can make a difference, some true forwards, where last year we had midfielders that were playing forwards, so we've kind of tried to change that up. We've got Shani McCabe coming back at our defense to anchor that, and Amber Carlson from here in Cheyenne. We've got a young lady coming from Buffalo, Ellie, that's going to be a center back that I think some people are going to be impressed with because they haven't seen her because she's at 3A level and they don't get as much exposure, I don't think. So I'm excited. I never know until I really see them. I think I have a good team every year, which we usually do, but how we're going to pan out nationally is going to be a wait-and-see game. Our schedule's extremely difficult at the beginning. If we do well, we'll be ranked very high. If we lose a couple or lose all, we'll maintain our rankings, but we'll have to push our way back up. Either way, we learn, and playing the best competition always makes you the toughest at the end.
Talking about the LCCC soccer program and the national recognition it has received for you and Coach Valdez, the recruiting part. Again, as we mentioned, a lot of kids sophomore and they're gone. So you have to bring in kids, every 2 years to keep the program fresh. Tell us a little bit about recruiting. With the nationally known product, is it a little bit easier to recruit kids to come to Cheyenne?
Sure. Recognition always makes a difference. I think for any sport anywhere, the more recognition your school has, the easier it is to recruit athletes. And I think that's true at the junior college ranks as well. I think when we look at the top junior college programs, we'd have to be ranked up there in the top 5 over the last 12 or 18 years. And so the recruiting services for international and here in Cheyenne, in the States, they recognize that and they want those type of kids to go to the best places they can go. So our school plus 5, 6, 7 others, usually we're recruiting the same type of kid or the same kid from all over, and they're having to make decisions. So it does make a difference. My recruiting style is a little bit different. After doing it for almost 40 years, it's a position where I know a lot of people, so I don't go out and watch a lot of games. I usually let people contact me, kids contact us, and then if they're in the right position, special kids, we might take more of an interest in that. But I'm not one who spends a lot of time watching games. I have lots of people I know and respect and trust, and I think that's a big thing.
Jim Gardner, LCCC head coach, joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Nick?
Well, with it being a nationally known program, as you alluded to, Coach, again, see it's some top-level talent coming up throughout the 2019-2020 season for LCCC women's soccer. Again, you'll be on the road in Kansas, seeing the likes of Lewis and Clark Community College, Iowa Western Community College, at Eastern Florida State, also to Polk State College, where you'll see them down in Melbourne, Florida. A few other non-conference opponents at home against Snow College and Cloud County Community College, and then Region 9 action with the likes of Northwest Central, just the well-known, at least, commodities out here in Region 9. But, looking at least at that schedule, 2 big road trips, Kansas and Florida. Are we at the level, is LCCC women's soccer at the level to get in some of these big names to Cheyenne? For instance, again, a Snow College or Cloud County, but how, why are we not seeing Eastern Florida come out to Cheyenne? Or how close are we to getting some of the top ranks or at least national champions to compete here in front of Cheyenne folks?
Yeah, a home series.
We've done that. Eastern Florida was out here 2 years ago, and we've had Schoolcraft from Michigan out here. We've had Monroe out here from New York. We've had Iowa Western out here. We've had Lewis and Clark out here. It just trades back and forth during the years. A lot of schools have cut their budgets, and that's one thing LCCC has an advantage over. And we talk about that in recruiting as the kids come here getting exposure to the country, especially internationals. And we travel a lot, and it bonds or binds our students together, our athletes. But there's no reason that they can't come. It's just that this year the one in Kansas was set up was an 8-team tournament that's never been done before. So 8 teams went to that, which means they're top teams, which means they're not going anywhere else because that's the one trip they have. Going out to Eastern Florida came up late. We were trying to get them to come here, but in our schedule and theirs it didn't work out. So sometimes it's scheduling. It's not because they don't want to come. In fact, 6 times we've had number 1 ranked teams come in and only one of them's won here. So it does make a difference to be at the top, and we have had programs. It just hasn't worked that way in 2018 or 19. But in 17, Eastern Florida was out here.
You look at the Region 9 schedule, and again, too, we never sell short Region 9. There's good talent that you're going to be facing within that grouping as well.
Yeah, I think Sheridan Gillette will be really tough. Western Wyoming upset us last year in the Region 9 finals, so they're always looking. You know, you kind of get a target on your back every year. That's where they want to be. They want to take over the program, and if they can, that's what they're hoping will catapult their programs into more success. At least that's what I'm thinking they're thinking. So I think our preseason with playing some of the top-ranked teams in the country will prepare us well, which it always does for playing in the Region 9, and I hope to do well there as well.
Looking at least a little bit of a tangent, but again, still regarding women's soccer, you know, what we just recently saw here for the at least United States with the women's soccer, at least national team, winning the World Cup once again, back-to-back champions, at least winning that World Cup. But keeping it on the local side, or at least trying to tie with, you know, for instance, with Cheyenne East, Central or South on the local high school side, even with the JUCO products, as you mentioned, again, getting international kids to come out to Cheyenne, Wyoming, competing for LCCC women's soccer. But for here in the United States, and again, including here in the state of Wyoming, how big is it with having a national team that is a winning program, getting their names out there, seeing, you know, giving, for instance, little girls that option to join Cheyenne Sting or, again, part of their high school ranks? How big is that as a help force to get out, you know, little girls to focus on soccer and being a part of these local programs, including here in town?
You know, I think for me, I watch every game, World Cup, and both men's and women's, and it's so much fun to see the influence that they have on kids. You know, when you win it in your country in any sport, it seems to make that sport elevate the level of people that join. And soccer is one of those youth sports that's huge in the country, and I think the kids coming up, just that's their idols. I remember, you know, not too long ago we were talking about Mia Hamm and how great she was, and now we have this group of people that were thinking that and have followed her. I think you'll see the same pattern here. Pretty impressed with how they play and you know, what they did at the tournament.
You know, one of the things, the game hasn't passed you by, Coach, but we ask coaches this all the time, too. As a matter of fact, even talking with Coach Fick, basketball. Bigger, stronger, faster. What have you noticed in the change, either in women or men's soccer? And obviously, you're very close with the women's side. What changes have you seen from soccer 20 years ago to today?
I think the more technical side. The U.S. has always had the most athletic girls in the country, women. You used to look at North Carolina, and they'd line up, and they'd just blow over you with the best athletes in the country. And I think we still have that in the world, the U.S. women, as far as athletes go, or as good as they get. But they also have combined it with a technical ability. And I think that has brought the younger kids into it, are better players because they're more technical. They spend more time at it. They see the professionals or the World Cup team doing that, and it seems to me that the kids I had 20 years ago were as good or better, faster, quicker, maybe stronger, but maybe not as technical as they are now. It just seems to be more of an emphasis. And I think the world is caught up with the U.S., and we have to be more technical to add to the physical abilities they have.
Absolutely. Well, at least, again, at least for you, Coach, we appreciate you joining us here talking, at least the Hall of Fame career on the Cheyenne East side, but also, too, giving us an update on the final season for you, head coach, at least at LCCC with the women's soccer schedule. Again, reminding folks, August 10th is the alumni game, LCCC at the Fields there, 11 a.m. Again, we will post more information on the social, and also to remind folks, but for this season, at least officially starts August 23rd, home against Snow College there at LCCC. So before we know it, 2019 season will finally be here, and we're ready for women's soccer.
All righty. And we want to thank Coach Jim Gardner for joining us here on 1480 KRAE. We wish the Lady Golden Eagles all the best in the upcoming season.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's great, and I hope everybody will come out and watch the games. It'd be awesome.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll be back. We're going to talk some baseball after these words here at 1480 KRAE. Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local. Serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Okay, good day in the weight room, boys. Remember, we lift weights for strength. For cardio, we lift weights faster. Wachowski, quit looking at your stomach, son. What you're looking for ain't there. If you want a six-pack, the easiest way to get one is at Taco John's.
Stop in for a six-pack and a pound at Taco John's. Get 6 crispy beef tacos and a pound of potato olays, all for $10.99.
Let's olay the day and go get one right now. Last one there has to pick up Mrs. Coach from jiu-jitsu class.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Some common things that can affect your personal or at-work computer. The worst of all is a virus. Secondly, it runs too slow because the hard drive is filled or something else internally is wrong, and it's in serious need of an upgrade. Before you get rid of it, let Lain at Affordable Computer Repair attack and fix those problems right away. Affordable Computer Repair is just that. So call 307-256-8971 and let Lain's many years of computer service get your computer back up and running the way it should be, so you don't miss a day of work or the personal use that you expect from it. He's worked on them all, so you'll feel confident he'll get the job done right. So don't junk it. Help is on the way from Affordable Computer Repair. Call 307-256-8971.
Cheyenne's oldest coin dealer and supplier, The Coin Shop, is proud to serve the community since 1982. Trade or sell your gold, silver, and other precious metals. Visit with David and the knowledgeable staff for a fair and honest assessment of your valuables. Located at 510 West Lincoln Way. Call them today at 778-7196 to schedule your personal consultation.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
The end of the summer is in sight. Did you accomplish all of your home improvements and remodeling projects? Whether you're remodeling your kitchen or adding a little extra space for your growing family, a home equity line of credit with Platte Valley Bank can help you finish what you want to complete this summer. So stop in and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a home equity line of credit with Platte Valley Bank.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All lines of credit are subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Back to baseball with Mustangs, Cheyenne Mustangs baseball. Sheldon Baxter, skipper of the Mustangs, joining us here on 1480 KRAE. Coach, always good to have you in studio. And let's talk about the Mustangs' past performances. And again, I think if you look at the box scores, or again, find out what you can about the Mustangs, youth played a big role in this weekend's latest activities.
Yeah, we were a little sloppy defensively this week. We weren't able to practice outside with the tournament going on here in Cheyenne, so we had to hit inside our facility. Our offense was all right. We just were a little sloppy defensively. We weren't up to speed with some of our fundamentals on defense.
So at least looking back at this past weekend, again, 2 games on Thursday, down in Denver, Colorado, taking on Game Day North, where you at least got one victory out of that one. But at home at Pioneer Park on Sunday, Lightning played a little factor, game timeout as well, too, in Game 2. But either way, again, fortunately, 2 losses against that Grandview High School team out of Denver as well, but now sits at 21-22. In your opinion right now, where we were getting above that Mendoza line, getting above 500, hey, things were moving in that right direction. Where do we kind of stand, or at least what are your thoughts right now with the Cheyenne Mustangs? Are we seeing a peaks and valleys? Is it a youth thing? Is it inconsistency? I mean, where are we at right now with the Mustangs as a program?
Yeah, I think it's a youth thing. It's a little bit of our inconsistency. We're up and we're down a little bit too much. We got to kind of find a way to level off into where we're playing that good baseball, and we're dropped a game under 500. We ran into a really good Grandview team. They hit the ball really well against us. We were a little sloppy defensively, but I think we got outside. We had a good practice today, so I think we'll be in good shape to get back above 500 this weekend in the state tournament in Colorado.
Coach, and I hate to point the needle towards 2020, but really in the back of your mind, even though we still have some season left, you have to be putting a little smile on your face because of all of the action that these guys have been involved in this season. I mean, you talk about bringing a veteran squad back in 2020, and they're still young.
Yeah, these guys have played in every type of baseball game this year, and that's kind of what we wanted them to experience. That we've been in really close games and won. We've been in close games and lost. We've been in blowouts on both sides. So they're definitely shaping the right direction, and we're really excited for the next year. These guys.
I was going to say, before we get into next season, again, we'll talk about a few things as well, too. But coming up this weekend, starting up Thursday, you will be down in the Colorado State, at least, tournament. Defending, go figure, a team out of Cheyenne, Wyoming is the Colorado State champions, defending state champions from last year's squad. But heading into this tournament, obviously, teams are still yet to be determined, schedules as well, too. But kind of at least look ahead to this weekend of what to anticipate. What teams are we looking at? Are we looking at some familiar faces that you've seen throughout the season down competing in this Colorado State tourney?
You got the bullseye all over you guys, don't you?
Absolutely. Everyone knows that we won it last year, so these guys are going to have a little bit of target on their back, and I hope they'll be ready for it. So it'll be fun for us. But we got 2 games tomorrow, starting at 11:30 and 2. So we got some familiar teams. We haven't played them this year, but we've played them in years past, and they're both really good teams. So we're going to have to play really well for us to come out 2-0 tomorrow.
Now, with the Wyoming State tournament, not to put you on the spot if you don't know this, but at least we'll just ask this question for, obviously here in the state of Wyoming on the American Legion side, if you win the state tournament, you have to go to the regional tournament to get into that American Legion World Series. With the Colorado State title, is there anything that comes with it of a berth to the Connie Mack World Series or a regional tournament or at least qualifying tournament to get into that World Series? Does anything positive, at least towards an advancing the season, come out of winning the state tournament?
I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think it does. I think this is just a tournament where you go out and try and win it. And once you win it, you're the champs.
As you head into the tournament, let's talk about the ball club physically. Again, arms right now on the pitching staff. Again, this team being young, and as we get a chance to talk to these guys, you're starting to see the maturation process with this team. So just give us the overall view of this team heading into this Colorado State tourney.
The biggest part is everybody's healthy. Everybody's feeling confident in their arms, so that's great. They're always honest with me. They always let me know how they're feeling. They don't try and press through something that they shouldn't. So everybody's healthy. We got 4 games, so everybody's going to need to throw. So they'll all be ready to throw.
Do you have? I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you, Nick. Do you have this call basically all hands on deck throughout the whole tournament?
Yeah, that's what we talked about today at the end of practice was everybody needs to be ready to throw. You never know when your number is going to be called, so you need to be ready to go in and get guys out when we need you to get guys out.
Regarding this upcoming state tournament down there in Colorado, are we looking at metal bat or wood bat for this tourney?
Metal bats. We'll be swinging the metal bats this weekend, which I think we hit a little better with metal, so that's going to help us a little bit.
So at least a little benefit of the offense. Hopefully advance on to that championship Sunday down there in the state tournament. But, another question as well, too, we'll ask you, Sheldon, as we talked earlier with Ty Lain, Cheyenne Post 6 manager of the historic season that they've had getting into your territory, being a Connie Mack baseball team, but they will be competing in the Connie Mack World Series coming up down in Farmington, New Mexico. Mustangs last year were a part of that, at least World Series in the qualifier, but did not make it to the actual tournament. But what is the outlook past the state tournament for Cheyenne Mustangs? Is there routes to get in the qualifier or have also to where we have one Cheyenne team, but could we possibly have two Cheyenne teams competing in this Connie Mack World Series? Basically, my question is, will the season end after the Colorado State tournament, or do we have options for the Mustangs to as well put their hat in for Connie Mack World Series?
I'd like to, but unfortunately this weekend will be our last weekend of the season. We'll end up the Colorado State tournament will be our last tournament for this year.
I posed this question to Ty, and I'm going to pose it to you as well. And again, they're restricted in their scheduling because, again, new ground was broken where they were playing Connie Mack teams. So, and we have yet to have Cheyenne Post 6 and the Mustangs play. Is that something that you would like to see happen? Again, baseball's baseball. So, we're not talking a lot of rule differences that are going to be going on. Post 6 has their credo they go by, and of course the Mustangs, again, Connie Mack has their allegiance out as well. But is that something that maybe this could be put together for a good old-fashioned...
And not even Post 6, but piggyback off of that, where for Connie Mack, all we have is Cheyenne Mustangs and the Casper Crush. That's your only opponent here in the state of Wyoming at this point in time. But, for instance, again, Cheyenne, Laramie Rangers of American Legion, taking on that Casper Oilers team, Gillette Rough Riders.
Cody, Jackson. I mean, is that something that could be in the offing in the scheduling now for you, Coach?
I'd like to see it. I think it'd be good for the city to have us play Post 6. It'd be a little rivalry game. I feel like the city would enjoy that. I'd like to see it. The kids would love it too, I think.
I think it'd be nice bragging rights again. Clash of the capital city. It
a nice little doubleheader on a Saturday afternoon and have it out at Powers. I'll tell you what, that place would be jam packed. I hope it does come to fruition.
Absolutely, we do too, as we've been pushing for it. But as we talk about again this weekend, final tournament for the Cheyenne Mustangs. Just give us a quick recap. Obviously, you came in at least a little late in the season dealing with the Florida baseball that you had with those previous commitments. But, give us your overall thoughts on this season, even though it's not wrapped up entirely, but your thoughts on Cheyenne Mustangs 2019 baseball.
It's been good. These guys have learned a lot of the fundamentals of the game. And that's really all me and Reed wanted to instill in these guys is the fundamentals and the basics of the game and learning how to win. These guys, I think, have learned a lot in just a few months that we've had them, and they've learned a lot about the game, and hopefully they continue to make that next step going into the next year.
There's, again, like with Post 6 as well as the Mustangs, you got feeder programs as well. Have you had that opportunity to keep an eye on the feeder programs?
Yeah, we actually just had the youth tryouts earlier this week. Got to meet a lot of the younger guys and some of the younger coaches as well. They all seem like they know what they're doing, so we have a lot of confidence in the younger programs when they get to the Mustangs varsity.
How much say do you have regarding those feeder programs as we talk? You look at the MLB programs, for instance, of, hey, maybe head coaches have a little say-so of what's happening in AAA, AA, single A. How much say do you have regarding the 16s, 14s, 12s, 10s of the Cheyenne Mustangs program of, hey, I want, our pitchers to learn skills like this, or we want hitting to look like this. Are you able to kind of build up in your way to once they get to the varsity program?
We've had very little influence on the younger program. We trust our coaches down there to teach them the fundamentals of the game as well, just like we do at the varsity. And then once they get to the varsity, we teach them how we want them to play, and it's usually very similar. So we have a lot of confidence in the younger coaches.
Well, Coach, we wish you all the best. And, again, hopefully you'll be able to defend your Colorado State Championship. And, unfortunately, like you said, the season comes to end after this tournament. But, again, you are the defending state champs, and that's something that these young men can hang their hats on as they head on down to this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
Sheldon Baxter joining us here on 1480 KRAE. Come back. Going to introduce you to one of the members of the Cheyenne Mustangs after these words here on 1480 KRAE.
We'll work hard for your business, and we'll work just as hard to keep it. I'm A.J. Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and you need to see the new 2019 Kia Sportage today. The 2019 Kia Sportage offers numerous options and advanced driving features that help you know who is around you and how best to stay in control. Kia Sportage offers many standard features for the money. Some of the competition does not. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY FM, and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Our Super Radio buys heard only right here featured Camarena Reposado or Silver Tequila 750 milliliter bottle, $15.49. Bud Light, Coors Light, or Miller Light, 24-pack 16-ounce cans, $22.99. And Admiral Nelson Spiced or Cherry Spiced Rum, 1.75-liter bottle, $10.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Family owned and operated Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company invites you to stop by for these great summertime specials featuring all greenhouse flowers and herbs. Buy one and get 2 free. Save 50% off on B&B aspen trees, 25% off on container deciduous trees, and 15% off all container evergreen trees and shrubs. Also get 20% off on all Austrian, pinyon, and spruce trees, plus B&B ash, elm, hawkberry, oak, and pear trees. Looking for a gift? Check out their gift center and receive 15% off on one gift item. Serving Cheyenne in the area since 1977. It's always a one-stop shop for your yard and garden. From family-owned and operated Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company on Yellowstone Road in North Cheyenne. Open 7 days a week, all season long.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 88 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 56. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 90. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 56.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
You know, it's almost fun here on our segment where we get a chance to talk to the players, whether it's with the 18-under Extreme, Post 6, and, of course, with the Mustangs, because we get youngsters from all over. And we have Orry Davis joined us, who is going to be a senior, as we were talking off mic, at Cheyenne Central next year, of course, with the varsity here with the Mustangs, his first season. Orry, welcome to the program. And, again, I guess fired up about being a senior finally next year at Cheyenne Central?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be the easiest year of high school, so
He gets it. As everyone else is kind of a little bit huddled, he gets it. It's not that difficult to get past your senior year. But at least talking about Cheyenne Central really quickly, obviously the baseball thing here with the Cheyenne Mustangs. What else athletic-wise do you do for the Central High Indians?
I run indoor and outdoor track for Central.
So under Coach Sean Wild that we've had on the program, very successful out there with track and field. So what do you do primarily for track and field?
I do high jump and I run the 200-meter. Basically, that's it.
So got the hops and got the speed as well too. So nice little bonus at least it translates probably well to at least to baseball, where again line drive over your head. You got that again.
And what position do you play with the Mustangs?
I play left field.
You play left field. So basically, he can scale the walls to keep home runs in play. Real quick, Orry, as we look at next year being a senior, I would venture to say that college will be in the offing for you, that you'd like to, go to school after high school?
Yeah, right now I'm planning to go to UW and be a sports statistician.
Okay. Now, baseball, this is your first season on the varsity with the Mustangs, and you'll, again, hopefully we'll have you back in the studio here next season as well. If that opportunity came around, if somebody came knocking on the door, would you consider playing baseball, whether it's a JUCO, D2, D1?
Yeah, I would definitely consider it, but I haven't put my name out there too much. But if someone came to me first, I would definitely consider it.
Do you want to play? Would you like to continue playing baseball?
Maybe. I don't like. I mean, I definitely want to focus on academics, but I could see baseball as a possibility.
Good, at least respect that
He's
answer.
being honest.
Again, with the academic side, obviously that's why you go to school, is to learn and get that at least college degree. But as you mentioned with track and field, do you have a preference, for instance, again, where being part of this successful Cheyenne Central program out there under Coach Sean Wild, maybe if UW, who does have a phenomenal track and field program out there, if they came and knocking, or any JUCO said, hey, come run for us, come do high jump, would you prefer that over baseball if you had to choose between one or the other?
Well, that's a hard question.
That's why I asked.
If it was for high jump, I would consider it, but because that's the event I really thrive in for track. But if it was like a running event, I would definitely take baseball over running, but I might take high jump over baseball.
That's probably the best answer right there. Yeah, no one wants to run out there.
Right. Let's get into Mustangs baseball this season. As we mentioned, you guys are just under the Mendoza line, which means under 500. You're going to play in the Colorado State Tournament here this weekend, where you guys are the defending champions. So, it's been an up and down season for you. How have you guys been coping with it? Because, again, you're young, you're going to make mistakes, and there's going to be the good, there's going to be the bad, there's also going to be the ugly. And you've experienced all of that this season.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought we were going to be terrible. Because we started out 1-7, and I thought, we're a young team. I can take a bad year and then next year, grow and be better. And I was okay with that. But I think this team surprised me this year because I didn't think we would be, around the 500 spot. I thought we'd have way more losses on the season.
What's turned it around for you guys, in your opinion?
I think the coaching, because Dave Stevens started out, and he's not a bad coach, but he's never coached varsity before, and so it was a new experience for everybody. But then Reed and Sheldon, they've played D1 baseball, they know all about it, and they've taught us plenty of new things that we didn't know before, and so I think they're the reason that we really turned it around.
Well, it seemed like that's the common theme for the Cheyenne Mustangs this season of it's a lot of entities first year experience, whether with it is the Mustangs or being a part of the varsity squad. Again, as we talk about, it is a young team. For instance, with you, this is your first year being a part of the Mustangs varsity squad and kind of getting adjusted and going through the growing pains, so to speak. But at least my question regarding at least your baseball tenure, how many years have you been playing baseball in general?
I've been playing since I was 2.
Before T-ball.
Yeah, I've been playing it my whole life.
So what did you see? Again, you're on the junior varsity last year, and baseball's baseball. I mean, guy's going to throw a fastball, curveball, slider, whatever the case may be. What has been the difference making that jump from the JV team to the varsity team this year?
I think
if he stumps you, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
I think the pitching I expected it to be like way harder to hit, but I think that I've also grown with it, like became a better hitter. So I think it surprised me in the aspect that I was more ready for varsity than I thought I was.
Going into this varsity season with Cheyenne Mustangs, or at least once you realize that you're part of the big club, so to speak, what did you set any goals for yourself? Any expectations being a part of the team? Talk about you thought that things were going to be a little bit harder, at least on the offensive side, but did you set any expectations or goals for this season?
I knew I'd be one of the older kids, and so I knew I had to be sort of a leader. And so when it comes like average and on base percentage, I knew I wanted to be towards the top so people could look up to me, and I've done that this season.
Good for you. Let's ask the most pertinent question that we ask of all of you guys. Do you follow Major League Baseball?
Of course.
And you got a favorite team?
The Colorado Rockies.
All right, so the Rockies are struggling right now. So left field.
Don't let the Giants jersey tell you anything.
No, but left field. I'm thinking, okay, there's David Dahl out there. There's Tappy out there. You've had there's Charlie out there in right and center field. You got Desmond out there. Anybody that comes to mind that you really like to, play similar to their style?
Charlie Blackmon. He's the one that really stands out because he's a great player, but he's also got a great personality off the field. And so I like to be good, on and off the field.
Well, Orry's got the length of the hair. Will he go full mullet for next season or adopt the hairstyle of Blackmon?
I'll keep the long hair, but not the mullet.
You're not going to do the beard either?
I would if I could do it.
You're
give him a few
it
years.
Looks like you're getting there.
Give him a few years on that. So,
yeah.
At least, again, as we talk about, at least coming up, final tournament for the season for the Cheyenne Mustangs. Again, defending at least the Colorado State tournament. Unfortunately, you were not part of that team last year, but is there any pressure? Do you feel any pressure defending the state title? Or also, too, something we talked about last year heading into this tournament, seemed like the Mustangs had a chip on their shoulder of being that lone Wyoming team where Colorado teams might overlook. Is there that feeling in the clubhouse coming up, at least for this weekend, of we might get disrespected due to our Wyoming tag or even our record for the season?
I don't feel as much pressure because I feel like teams know it's almost like a rebuilding stage right now. And so this year I don't feel a lot of pressure, but if we're in the same spot next year, I'll feel more pressure to win it.
All right. Well, we want to thank Orry Davis for joining us here on 1480 KRAE. And again, for Orry, he is going to be a senior next year over at Cheyenne Central. Got one more season. But actually, technically has 2 left with the Mustangs if he so chooses. But again, we want to thank you for joining us here on 1480 KRAE. We want to remind everybody coming up here this evening from 8 until 10, we will have our Golden Age of Radio Theater shows for you. And that would